Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? My name is Phil Chambers and I'm not joined by Gareth Morgan today, so we're going to do things slightly differently and I'm going to go straight into all of the fallout from CM Punk's big interview with ESPN that was being hyped up last week. It dropped yesterday, so I'm going to do a quick recap of everything that happened in the interview, and then straight after this I'll jump into the backstage fallout. So if you know the interview, you can skip straight to that. Now there's a lot he is not allowed to talk about because of NDAs and things that happened after the brawl out situation, but one of the things he did address was everything about Hangman Adam Page. Now he did say that before Hangman Page's promo on Dynamite, when he alluded to CM Punk trying to get Colt Cabana fired, that his relationship with the Elite was very positive before this. But then when those comments came out, kind of got a little bit angry about it. He did reiterate in this interview as well that he had never tried to get Colt Cabana had never tried to get Colt Cabana fired or affect his job in AEW in any way. He also went on to talk about the subsequent match that followed with Hangman Page, talking about how he just kind of lost the sort of trust necessary for the process of wrestling before this match. Now I've got a quote from him. He just says, and I proceeded to have what I think is a garbage match because I'm trying to protect myself on stuff instead of actually just working and trying to put on the best performance I can. I'm keeping an eye out. He chopped me in the mouth one time and I'm just like, okay, did you do that on purpose? You chipped my tooth, and I'm like, all right, should I give him a receipt? It changes the dynamic. It poisoned everything for me and it made it all really, really ugly. And that was what set all of this off. And here we are over a year later and ain't stuff been done about it. So he said he apologized to Tony Khan about what happened after the media scrum at All Out, the infamous media scrum at All Out now, when he aired all of his grievances about everything. He said that he apologized for the scrum, but when you've watched that scrum, you're looking at a very, very frustrated guy who had told people that's not the first time he heard all that. It's not the first time lawyers were told all that. And I was just looking for something to be done and nothing got done. So if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself, and I just didn't approach it in the right manner. I was very, very pissed. I pretty much knew that I had just injured myself again. I was hurt and I was disappointed. It's very easy for me to say that I regret that and I handled it the wrong way, 100%. So he has obviously apologized to Tony Khan about the media scrum and everything that happened in that, and apparently his relationship with Tony Khan now is great. So at least that's one thing that's been actually fixed throughout all this. Now, like I say, he couldn't say much about what happened with the fight that happened afterwards legally because they've all signed NDAs about it, but he did kind of mention that he didn't think what happened was as big of a deal as it's since been made out to be. He also said that he is willing to apologize to the entire Elite and get in a room and hash things out, but when he tried to reach out to them all, he received a response from lawyers instructing him not to contact them, and that he hasn't actually spoken to Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks since the night of All Out. Now, all of this is not quite as spectacular as everything was hyped up to be before this interview, but it's very, very interesting nonetheless. But what about the backstage fallout from all of this that's happened now? So the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer, obviously, came out saying that AEW did hope that Punk's comments about Hangman Page wouldn't be published in the ESPN interview, but obviously they were. But mainly this is because they are in the process of trying to sign Page to a new deal, so they wanted to obviously keep everyone as happy as possible while they're trying to sign him up to a new contract. Fightful Select had a lot more about the backstage fallout from all of this, saying that sources stated that the whole thing wasn't actually as bad as they originally thought it was going to be. They first found out about the interview last weekend, so they had pre-warning about it, so I think imaginations had run wild a little bit as to what Punk was going to say in this. So it wasn't as bad as they were expecting. The Fightful Select article also pointed out that Adam Page doesn't have the same restrictions on him as the Elite do, as in Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, because they all signed their NDAs. Hangman Page wasn't involved in the fight afterwards, so he doesn't have the same kind of restrictions on what he can say about Punk. However, he has specifically gone out of his way to not talk about it as much as he possibly can, so that he doesn't accidentally stir things up. So he's just just trying to stay out of all of this, which, to be fair, is probably the wisest decision, seeing as how it's all broken down. Now, dating back to last summer, Punk has been wanting Page's comments on Dynamite to be addressed, about where he talked about workers' rights and the whole alluding to CM Punk, allegedly trying to get Colt Cabana fired from AEW. So he's wanted that to be addressed since back in last summer, and then was just getting very frustrated that nothing was done about it, which he did in fact mention in the interview as well, and that led up to everything that happened at the All Out media scrum. Now, more from Fightful Select saying that despite being told that backstage issues wouldn't be turned into an angle, there are actually people on Punk's side that are hopeful that this still could happen, which is definitely the most interesting outcome to all of this. If they can somehow all get together and sort of hash it out and realize that what is best for business is a massive storyline between all of these guys where they pay it off on pay-per-view and make some money. But we'll have to wait and see whether that actually happens. But it does look like Punk is open to that as a situation. Now, since the interview too, the Young Bucks have posted on their Instagram story. They just put a picture of Hangman Page wrestling with them, just saying with the words, not only is he good at wrestling, but he's an even better human being. And otherwise, they've been very, very silent since the Brawl Out incident and haven't really commented on anything. So just a little bit of support out there for Hangman Page from the Young Bucks. Samoa Joe has also had an interview with Sports Illustrated where he was talking about the debut of Collision and things like that, but he addressed the CM Punk interview slightly, just saying this isn't a divide, it's an argument between men. He said all those dudes don't represent the entire genre or their generation. They have their own issues and their own problems. I don't think it's that deep, Joe said. They're grown-ass men, they have disagreements, they can figure it out or not, that's between them. Which, yeah, is fair put. I think it's about time all these people just come together and sort of hash things out and actually figure out how they're gonna grow from here, how we're gonna move forward within AEW, and it seems like a lot of that has still been unaddressed backstage. But we'll have to wait and see. This is the biggest sort of reveal, I guess, that we've had since Brawl Out, since everything's been so quiet and there's just been wild speculation behind the scenes. So we'll have to wait and see if we get more of this going forwards, but obviously Collision debuts tonight, so we'll see what the sort of storyline angle is going to be, whether Punk's going to be coming back as a heel or a face, what he's going to say on the microphone, whether he's going to address any of this live on air, or whether he's going to be safely under lock and key and just stick to storyline things and not be allowed to mention anything regarding the Elite. It's going to be very interesting moving forwards, but let me know in the comments below what you think of this CM Punk interview, the Backstage Fallout, and where sort of the lay of the land within AEW is right now leading into Collision and the sort of split between CM Punk and the Elite. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Phil Chambers. You can follow me on Twitter at PhilMyChambers. Click this video here to get more information about wrestling and continue your YouTube journey. Ups and downs for Rampage and SmackDown are on its way, so make sure you look out for them. But most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day.